Go. This is John with Voices Levano, speaking with Rich Hardesty in Nashville, Indiana. Rich, how are you doing today?
Hey, Sean. Good to see you, buddy. It's always good to see you.
All right, so you're at the Country Heritage Winery right now. Is that right?
Oh, yeah. Got here nice and early.
All right, so I'm up here at Plump/Shot, where the movie Hoosiers was based off of. This is one of the guys we've worked with Dallas Clark doing their documentaries, and we're going to be focusing on saving the stories of Nashville, Indiana for Nashville, Indiana Stories. Are you excited about this?
That's right. I'm very excited very passionate about this little town. I'm going around the community asking other people from the community, hey, let's go save the Red Barn because to the community so people can enjoy it for years and years and years to come around the campfire, outside, on the inside. But this is not going to be an easy job, let me tell you.
All right, so what we're going to be doing is kind of a twofold. One, we're going to be doing the business histories as far as business documentaries, but then also pairing that with local legends so they can sponsor and save a local legend's life story. A person you're partnering with is Versi Reed for the Red Barn, and here's a couple other guys that these two gentlemen, you've got Garrett Mandum and Eric Johnson. One's helping you with the sign, and the other's helping you with the restoration of the barn. How did they get involved?
This is Eric Johnson. He actually builds guitars. He just actually restored my old baby Taylor. We call it a sexy Taylor now. He's going to do the sign because he's a woodworker. He's amazing. He wants to donate his time to help us out. The other guy over here, Garrett, he's a barn specialist. I was introduced to him by my bass player who mentored him, but he's a house builder, but he's most importantly a barn specialist, and he's offered to mentor us because, like I said, this is an antique barn. This is not going to be easy. We need guys like that to help us.
Well, and here's another shot. You said that Hard Truth gave you some barrels for the beer garden, as well as you got some old theater seating in there. How many people can be capacity in the barn?
Well, we're going to raise that because currently the way it was, first of all, those seats were all deteriorated and broken. They're gone. That would have held us back for fire code and stuff like that. So we want this to be a venue. Like when I lived on Sunset Boulevard and I went into the Whiskey, when I played there, you knew immediately when you walked in there, you felt like you were in a venue. That's really what this feels like. So we're just going to enhance it. Hard Truth donated a bunch of those barrels so we can make some furniture. There's a lot of other businesses like where I'm sitting right now. They want to donate stuff. We want this to be a community barn. When you walk in, you realize that the whole community is behind it. You don't know what you're going to see on the wall. There'll be a separate wall, maybe the Grateful Wall of Fame, where we recognize all these people that are going to help us get this done.
Well, it looks like these guys are going to be, kind of a good anchor to be able to start it out. And I know I'm looking forward to getting, this whole thing launched. We're going to be down there on the 19th and 20th. You're going to have a concert, and NashvilleIndianaStories.com. That's how we're going to launch it, starting out with just getting to know some of the main people that are coming out to support. Here's another shot of you playing back in the day in the barn, and here's some shots of a lot of old people that were, musicians that came through. Hey, how long ago do you remember the barn even kind of starting?
Well, like I said, me personally, it was looking out the window of the station wagon. As far as performing there, I think it was about 8 years when I did my first show there. But I see Jason Wilbur on there from John Prine. That's pretty cool. I talked to him the other day. I invited him to come out when the time is right. But, I guess Bill Monroe played here back in the day. But if I start mentioning people, there's too many, and many of the people here right now that help make this happen and that want to continue to make it happen. But I just see us getting those bluegrass shows together again. Why not have reggae nights, blues nights? Everybody's welcome at the Red Barn. It's a melting pot music venue where we accept everybody, and that's what music is about. No judgment.
Now, here's a shot of the bottom corner. This is us doing your documentary on your cliffside cottage, and we actually put something together for Bo Duke. I had the pleasure for Voices of Racing of interview him at the convention downtown, and you got to play the theme song for him. And then the upper corner, you've got Andrew Tilton, and he owns the Greenwood Suites Hotel. We already did a documentary for them to kind of just showing how, they've remodeled it and how they're an anchor in the community. And then the Nashville Chop House. Have you been to the Nashville Chop House? What do you think of that restaurant?
Man, I'm so busy. I have not been there yet. Everybody says it's great. Can't wait to try it.
Well, you have played over here at the Ferguson House. I know that's one of your favorite spots, and you're connected to the family that basically owns it. What's kind of a little bit of their background?
I used to hear people jamming over there at the beer garden, and I wanted to be a part of that. The girl that books over there, Jessica George, I've known her for about 20 years. You know, we go back to Jasper, Indiana days. Her family grew up right down the street here. So I just wanted to be a part of it. You know, I love tourism, and that's why I used to play in Key West and Jamaica all the time. It's not just performing, it's meeting the people who come. They're in a feel-good mode. They want to have a good time and see some good music. And man, I feel grateful I'm able to meet people. You never know who you're going to cross paths with, but that's a very awesome place to jam right there at the Ferguson Beer Garden. That is for sure.
All right, something that I was, privileged enough to do is for Bobby Plump for Hoosiers. I was able to bring together Bobby Plump and our Super Bowl champ Dallas Clark from back in the day that played with the Colts, doing a three-way documentary of their history from birth. I'm sure there's a lot of legends within the Nashville area that would basically be deserving of having their life story saved, and I think it's a great way for the businesses to be able to showcase somebody that they're wanting to save from their history perspective. What do you think about the businesses being tied in to save the local legend's life story?
I think it's wonderful. Like, that's where I'm right here at the Country Heritage Winery. You know, I'm talking over here to Robert about that, and he's got some ideas. But, you know, anything from, you know, the Explorer Brown County, you know, the Bartell family to, you know, Jane Gore and her family, you know, my neighbor, there's a Purple Heart living down the street. I think the businesses in this town have the voice. We want to keep small businesses alive. And by sharing the stories of this town, it's good for tourism. It's good for the products. It's good for people to come experience little Nashville, Indiana, that's little slice of heaven, see the artists. You know, we're an artist colony. But without small businesses up and running and spreading the word and sharing the love we have for this town, you know, we want to make sure it's here forever. We want to create a legacy that can be sustainable, that passes on and on and on. And we're grateful for the people before us who thought of these ideas here in Little Nashville.
All right, so here's a shot of one of our, I guess, most famous clients that we've worked with, the Unser family, that won the Indy 500 9 times. They hired us to do Mario Andretti and Michael Andretti and 50 other people in the race industry about the history of the Unsers. And that's kind of another cool point, is that even though there's people, you know, that are alive, there's people that are gone, and other people can speak on their behalf and honor the people that are still past. And I think that's going to be a really cool thing, you know, and us being here at Plump Slash Shot here in Broad Ripple, and, you know, the Hoosiers, the movie, there's a lot of Indiana basketball fans, but there's just a lot of history itself in Nashville. Is there anything specific that you think that would be a really good spot to also get the heritage of?
Well, first of all, thanks for introducing me to Al Unser Jr. That was a great benefit concert we did. He's awesome, and they want to come down here and spend some time around the campfire, because that Red Barn thing we were talking about, we want to have a lot of campfire jams. And remind me before we get off here to mention the Weed Patch. I mean, actually, you just asked, is there things that I want to mention? Yes, the Weed Patch is the local music store down here, right? It's very eclectic, very vintage. When you walk in that shop, you feel like you're in Little Nashville. You know, I would say it reminds me of St. Augustine Beach, you know. So it's you want to go in there and meet the people in there and play the instruments. We want to get kids to come sing campfire songs and have drum circles and stuff like that. In fact, Kobe Myers lives up on the hill across from where I live on my hill. He was with Mellencamp. I think he's a very big part of Little Nashville's story, a guy like that. So we're meeting together for coffee, and we're going to talk about some of these ideas, but it has to start. You build a brick and you make it perfectly next to another brick, and you build foundation. And that's what you and I are trying to do here. And I appreciate your passion for Little Nashville, because you brought this idea to me, and that's
well, and you're going to be able to host a lot of these business documentaries and local legends life stories on your website. But I think that besides the organizations hosting them themselves and pushing it out, there's other bigger community groups. Could be the visitor center, could be the chamber, that also could be hosting these historical documentaries from the businesses and the people. And I'd just like to say, I thank you, Rich. I know you and I have known each other for about 30 years or so, from way back in the day when you were performing, and from Ball State. but I look forward to being down there on the 19th and 20th. Is there anything else you'd like to say in closing about us starting this venture for NashvilleIndianaStories.com?
I think the best way to dive into it is to come down here for a destination weekend, May 19th, and camp at the Red Barn. Camp with us at the place we're trying to restore and bring alive again, and then come to the show at the Brown County Playhouse on the 20th and come experience. Let me be your tour guide, because that's what that's going to look like that weekend, just like we did in Jamaica back in the day, in Muncie, Indiana, Ball State, where I met this guy, Sean Kirker, right here.
All right, well, Rich, I appreciate your time. I look forward to the voyage ahead of saving Nashville, Indiana stories, and I think you're going to be a great asset, being able to help spread the word, and I look forward to being able to help. And we're going to be doing this face-to-face, but we're also going to be doing a kind of a Zoom call with historic images like we were just showing on screen with this process. But anyway, Rich, is there anything else you'd like to say in closing?
Yeah, that's Barry Johnson right there, a local legend, and that's Carrie Ray, another local legend. See how proud they are here? Rob's got their pictures right here on stage, and that's the way it should be. Everybody supporting everybody.